Welcome to Revive Ministries Podcast. This month is, World Suicide Prevention Day and also Recovery Month. There's a quote I just read. It says, "It isn't weak to ask for help. It's like using a flashlight when you're lost in the dark." Just want to kind of preface a little bit about this month. The theme for World Suicide Day is creating hope through action, and that is actually observed on September 10th. It just happened. Restoring every aspect of life is Recovery Month in the States. And One More Day has been the theme for Revive Ministries the last few years. I find it very much a helpful, a good tribute, especially during this time and also this month theme. There's a short story before I bring my returning guest. It's been some time. I'm excited for her to come on. It's called The Old Watch. A father gave his son an old scratched up worn watch that was over 200 years old. He told his son to take it to a watch shop or pawn, or was offered a few dollars. The father then instructed him to go to a museum. At the museum, the curator immediately recognized the watch was a rare piece and offers a significant sum for it. The father explained that the right place will value you in the right way. So here we are. I just want to say thank you, Grace, for coming on and just being part of the conversation. Again, it's been some time, but I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me again. It's been a year or two, so
yeah, I know.
It's
been kind of a crazy journey, but like we were talking before we started, I think there was a quote that really sunk in me. It's like enthusiasm is common, but endurance is rare. So I'm here doing this for. It's been a journey, doing this, but I do appreciate familiar faces and just kind of trying to figure it all out, but also just trying to go through the journey and also be kinder to yourself along the way as you kind of figure things out bit by bit, if that makes sense. So
it makes total sense. We need to be kinder to ourselves, especially the endurance that you are showing with this podcast. It's amazing. Be proud of yourself.
And I do, it's definitely I just feel it's just for me it's been a great journey just to be able to reach and connect to people that normally it's harder to. So people like yourself, Grace. So thank you for coming on. Short disclaimer: if you are in crisis, please seek help. 988 is in the States, but if you're wherever you're around the world, whatever groups you connect to, anyone that you could say I need help and feel comfortable in saying that, I will encourage you to talk with them. On our Revive Ministries site, we actually have a link to a lot of crisis hotlines on this link. So if you are overseas or just in another country, not really sure, it may be helpful. Obviously, it's always kind of not the best subject, but it's a subject that we all are human, and sometimes we get to the point where we feel that we can't use a flashlight. Like I said, we feel like we don't need that help, but I think vulnerability can show true strength, especially during those times. So, yeah, thank you, Grace, for coming on. I remember when I was in, I guess you call it primary school or whatever in the beginning, Mark Twain was something I read. This quote kind of stuck with me. A man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. So, starting there, thinking about this month, World Suicide, just recovery, whatever, wellness, anything you want to share, or thinking about this quote that you want to mention. Great.
Yeah, and he summarizes it pretty clearly, but for a lot, or the majority of people, it's actually the hardest thing to look within and accept yourself. Mm-hmm. Where we live in a society where we just seek approval from the outside every day, every hour, in what we're doing at work, family, partners, everything. It's like this outside approval is definitely something that is killing us off, that has been heightened now by social media, like this comparison game. Mm-hmm. And this fake reality that influencers are showing, or whoever they are,
Hmm.
that are now like inflicting, even young people to want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And me now as a person here and a survivor tried to commit suicide and still stands here. I feel like God definitely brought me back to the light to be able to share my story. And like you just said before, vulnerability is really the key to connection and to reconnect with each other. Because at the end of the day, we are all here as one. We're not just
Yeah.
here for ourselves. And it's hard. It is really hard. And like you said, like I think the biggest part is actually admitting to it being hard. And then it can get easier. It's like that big barrier that you just have to block. It's like your block, you just have to, chip it down bit by bit. And then you'll notice like accepting the feelings and the hardness of it is already like the biggest part, right? The biggest first step, the acceptance and the awareness of how we feel, and not pushing it down.
I feel like we bring ourselves wherever we go, and so it's very important that we take the time. When I started this podcast, I was really just also starting to work in the field of mental health. So it's been almost like almost 5 years, I would say.
Okay.
I would say it's been it's interesting because we talk about mental health. We don't really talk about the health. We talk about maintaining it. And I feel that there, especially during my experience, my own personal experience, being a survivor myself from suicide attempt, is that it's more about living differently. That's it. Like like finding. I asked this question, Grace. Am I allowed to get better? Weird. It's weird to say that directly, but honestly, sometimes we may need to say it. We're the mayors of nothing. We over-explain when we're struggling with mental health, and it's sometimes hard because it's with this distraction. You talk about social media. It's just the problem with it is just it distracts so well and effectively. If I have a problem, let's say I was upset with you, Grace, for instance, and we're out and have a cup of coffee or whatever. With social media, I could just go through that whole day, a whole meeting, like nothing was wrong. And the problem with that becomes such a habit, you don't really realize that you're not connecting with anyone. You're just kind of existing around people. So I don't know if that makes. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but I feel that that's become more and more pronounced. I think COVID made it more pronounced because we were kind of forced to be segregated, but at the same time, I think we are the distraction element is huge. It's hard enough to connect, in person or in this platform, but it's even harder if it's easier to avoid. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense, because if you think about it, like, we have so many distractions these days that why would I admit to how I'm feeling when the easiest route is to just scroll or to just be online or to distract myself with TV or whatever it is. It's just easy. It's the easier route. But me and you are here to share that if you keep doing that for a long time, it does catch up with you. Like, you really I cannot stress enough that the dismissal of your own feelings and your own situations in your life will catch up with you at one point. And it is scary. And the dismissal and through the distractions is basically what everyone is doing these days. And that's why we're living a worldwide loneliness epidemic, plus suicide going up everywhere, I feel, don't you? Like, it's not just in one part of the world. And the big reason is we don't have education around technology, around social media. We don't have education about how are we supposed to use this in a good way to feed our brains. screens because it's so bad for our brains, because it's an addiction, right? And you just see, I'm a kindergarten teacher and I see like young kids already addicted. You know, the parents just giving them their phone when they cry, and I'm like, oh, like it's terrifying that if we're already nurturing that at such a young age, where are we heading to? So when you just talk about like, it's about knowing what's good for you, right? It's not just mental health, it's the health, it's all of it. The holistic healing aspect is, you know, a holistic healer, I always try and take everything into account. How much movement are you getting? Like if you're feeling stressed, go walk. If you're feeling anxious or depressed, go talk to someone. You know, there's like so many things that we're forgetting because we're just dismissal.
We're just busy. we're I think I was a book I read, Seculosity. It's like this enoughness, you know, we're not enough ever in some of these aspects, but you know, on top of that, I think what's really alarming is, I think it's Carl Jung. He said that loneliness, I'm paraphrasing, he said that loneliness is the inability to share what's important to you. So I could have high schoolers in front of me, and what's important to them may be not important to me, but like it's getting to make them is getting to get the environment that I want to hear. Why is this important? Maybe I don't understand, and that's okay. And I find a lot of times that builds bridges, not walls, when it comes to these kind of things. I'm not going to understand every aspect of what someone's going through, but I know it's bothering them. If we're able to put ourselves aside, I think it has helped. And you know, being in the mental health field, one thing I've noticed is a parent will come in, adult child, like, you know, that this person's not doing this, just as a scenario, made up scenario. And I would say to the mom, you need leave, and I'll talk to the client, whatever. And then after that, I'll bring the mom back if the client was okay with it, and the client will, and then I tell her, you're right, he or she's not doing this, but the last thing I want to do is have that door closed. Last thing I want the person to feel is that they can never come back. They can never express what's important to them. And I think you don't have to be in the mental health field to do that. You don't have to be someone who works with people who are suffering. It's just people who are hurt, who just need to find a way to ask themselves, am I allowed to get better? Am I allowed the time? That's another thing. We never have enough time. I realize I'm struggling with that too. Am I allowed the time to heal? You know, one thing about athletes as they get older, no matter how great they are, recovery time gets larger. Your recovery time, you have to spend more time resting. You can't just be like in your 20s, just recovering, like bouncing back. So that means what you used to be able to do in your 20s, you're going to have to take more time of rest, taking care of yourself, eating the right things, drinking the right, you know, avoiding certain things and knowing your body a little bit more. But then again, the question comes back, am I allowed to get better? Or is it not enough time? You know, if that makes sense. So that sense of urgency.
Yeah, it's like, would I rather be actually doing the work or just ignoring and like doing the easy route? But like you say, like, because we just live in such a time-consuming world, right? Like it just feels like the days go by so quick. And it's like asking yourself, how much time have you spent today for yourself?
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, well, maybe nothing, right? I mean, because you can just go through your day, like me and you, we're light workers, we're helpers, that's our jobs, right? We're helpers and healers, so it's hard for us as well to like prioritize ourselves. But I don't know about you, Robert, but since my breakdown and my psychosis, my suicide, you know, tries and all of that, like I've definitely been more dedicated to listening to my body.
Yeah.
If my body is feeling like I need to just rest, I don't just go through and keep going. I will rest, or I will like breathe, check in with myself, or do some tapping, or whatever it is that my body is telling me right now. And I think so many people just ignore those signs before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, really, what we want to go to is defining already, okay, how can I listen to myself before it's too late? And our body always wants to speak to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's really about reattuning to ourselves instead of always being attuned to, all the other parts of life, work and online and your phone. Like, how many times do you charge your phone a day? Just think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I like to say this a lot because it's such like a true thing. Like, when our phone is on low battery, we're like, oh my gosh, we need to charge it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have colleagues, they bring their chargers with them to work, and I'm like, I don't even think of that because I'm like, that's not my priority. Like, I charge myself up. And then it's like, it's funny, right? Do you like react that way when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling low? Or I need to charge myself up, be that going outside, looking at the trees, taking a deep breath, having a chit chat or a laugh with a friend or whatever it may be, a call with someone, right? Even those 5 minutes can change everything. Like, and when we talk about time, 5 minutes of your day is like how much?
Yeah, I know.
If you think about it, right? So just check in with yourself. Like, how many times a day are you checking in with yourself and charging yourself up and not your phone?
I do like you mentioning the phone charging. It's so funny. We don't take the emphasis on our own recharge. We're always a lot of times, and I think a lot of it is self-worth. Do we feel worthy to feel
So true.
to have the time to heal? There's a lot of times understandable frustration when you're struggling with mental health or psychosis or anything like that, because you just feel silenced, unheard. That's the one thing. You don't feel like anyone really understands. One of the oddest things I learned was, especially when I was in an environment that I felt more safe, was that no one really had to understand every single detail to support me. Now, no one had to really understand every single intricate detail. But one thing I noticed working in the field, and also measuring that to my own history, is that we over-explain, almost like we're trying to get kind of credit to have the ability to get better. It's like, okay, I need to explain everything to those, because there's unfortunately a lot of stigma, but we always focus on the stigma externally, and a lot of times that's just not being really educated, or maybe not just being generalizing. And we've seen that, but we also stigmatize ourselves easily, and in the sense of being able to say no, having more balanced boundaries, being okay to be open, but also being able to say no when you need to, and those kind of things. And the external validation, the emphasis on it, there's a lot of performance. Like, I've been a leader at church in the past, and unfortunately what I see is too much performance, not a lot of authenticity, not a lot of people being willing to be, helping other people. And I think, Grace, you could maybe agree or relate. Helping people is not convenient; it's inconvenient. You're putting yourself out there, but like you said before, we know this, but we care to do it because we want to do it. These kind of steps. There's no photo shoot when you're out helping people who really need help. There's no perfect angle of execution. It's really just being able to put your hands in the dirt, be able to get there where they're at and help them where you can, and know that you can't always help everyone, but you're going to do the best you can with what you can, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing. It's never about oneself. It's about just pushing it forward. For me, like you mentioned, me doing this podcast, I just love the outlet, providing a place where people can share what experiences and what been helpful in regards to this, this conversation, because it's gonna be ongoing. But it's important because of the people suffering, people who are not here today. I had a family friend that I knew all my life passed away from suicide this year. So it's just like you want to honor and also be able to say that this problem's still here. That makes sense, and it's something that it doesn't go away by closing our ears. It helps when we are able to talk about it and get the help that we may need. I want to segue and then we'll kind of wrap everything up, Grace. But I want it's been a while, so I'd like to get my new. Well, you're not new, but it's been a while. So anything you want to share, updates, what's been going on with you, anything you want to share with those who are listening? The floor is yours for now.
Thank you. I just wanted to also comment on that with what you were saying about your friend passing away. I'm sorry. I also feel it's an ongoing occurrence right now. I also had 2 friends back in my hometown, and it gives us more of the passion and the motive to keep doing what we're doing. But also on that note, I just want to say, like, there is always hope. There is always better days ahead, because like when you're in that situation, it feels like you're stuck and there's never going to be a better day. And Robert and I have been there. Like, we know, both of us, how it feels. Like, it really doesn't feel like there's going to be any light, any source of happiness, or any even source of energy to come again. And I can even say, like, 5 years ago, I was definitely like, I could never have imagined that right now I'm in Costa Rica. And I moved here a month ago, and it's always been a dream of mine to live here since I was 18. And it's always just never been like the right time.
Yeah.
And, I've not to say that I've not enjoyed my life. I've definitely followed my heart. And, I help people heal, with yoga, with coaching. Now, as a kindergarten teacher, and I'm a writer. So I've always dedicated my life to help others. But through that, I forgot about myself. So 5 years, I did have a breakdown because I was just giving too much generously. Like, I was just wanting to help everyone. So I'm just really glad that you mentioned that, Robert, because you cannot help everyone, and that's okay. But you can help the people that will come to you, and that there is people that you can help. But it's just like, it's never... Yeah, I'm spiraling here, but like, seriously, the first thing you have to do is help yourself. And fill your own cup. And I think I was pouring my cup out so much that I didn't have anything left in my cup. And now I truly realize the power of prioritizing myself is not selfish, but actually selfless. Because of the time that I put into myself, be it journaling, be it reading the Bible, be it praying, be it singing, dancing, doing yoga, writing, all of my routines and rituals, find what feels good for you and do more of it. And if you don't think there's anything that's good for you, I promise there is. Like, there's so many beautiful things out there. Because, when you're in that kind of clouded state, you don't feel like there's anything, anywhere, anyone, right? Like, it's total blockage. But there will always be something to make you feel better. And the biggest power, what I would say, is nature and connection. Like, reconnecting to nature just really fuels you to feel that you're never alone. And reconnecting to others around you that love you, or that maybe are there for you, who aren't necessarily yet your friends, or whoever it may be. Like Robert was saying about crisis lines, there is always someone there for you. And obviously God. And the more you pray and the more you trust that the dark times have to occur for you to truly enjoy the good times, that will get you through. Because I remember at one point I was like, okay, I feel like I didn't feel anything, right? But I remember I found this journal entry when I was packing my life up 2 months ago. I basically packed all my life up and just moved here, and I found journal entries from when I was in the mental clinic. And I was so scared to read them. I was like, oh, should I? And then I thought, Grace, you're in a really good place now. I did just go through a breakup 5 months ago. That's also what led me here, but I've definitely prioritized myself through that and been structured. But I thought, okay, I'm going to read it. And it made me cry so much because I had no idea that when I was journaling, I was like, God, I give myself to you. Like, I have no hope right now. I'm in such a dark time, but somehow I feel I just have to trust that this is happening, so that at one point some, better times will come. And I remember I was like reading it, and I remember the feeling of me writing it, not really believing it, right? But it was so like, it struck me a lot. It was very emotional, because it was like, wow, like even in your darkest times, if you just have a glimmer, little dose of hope, it can be the tiniest, to just trust God, to just trust your way, then the blessings do come your way. And I feel like now I'm here, and it's not like all my challenges have gone. Life is still hard. Like, I feel challenged a lot. But it's like this foundation of like trust, faith, and belief that has allowed me to like spring through in courage, clarity, and confidence, that no matter what I do, I know that I will get through, because I've seen the darkest days. I've been through them now, like for the past decade, that it's like, I just want to share that, because I know how it feels to really not know where you're going to go. But if you just at least hope and trust and believe, then each day at a time, just take one day at a time. I think that was the biggest thing for me, like really taking one day at a time, and not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm wasting my life away, because like Rob and I were saying before, we are very time pressured in our society, in our modern lives. It's like you work a 9 to 5 or whatever, like you're just on the run. But just realizing like what you're doing for yourself, and just taking a shower, literally, if you don't feel good, just take a cold shower, or just take a shower and just imagine everything is just running off you. You're letting everything go. You're shedding everything. And we all take showers. That's why I'm saying it, right? Because shower is just like the go-to. And just a 5-minute shower, or a 5-minute phone call with a friend, or a 5-minute look at the nature, like these small attributes to your life will start to relight that fire within you. And I self-published my self-help book from the mental clinic, because I was like, okay, now it's the time. Like, I had it for 5 years on the back burner, and now thousands of people feel like they're my friend because the way I wrote to them. So it's like, you will always have like someone, be it writing, be it podcasts like this. There's so many things out there for you to make you feel like you again. And if you seek, you will find. I mean, it's one of the best Bible verses, right? Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. Like, I always think of that, because it's so true.
Yeah. I think the hardest mirror sometimes to see is ourselves. And if you provide yourself space, I think about like the suicide attempt decades ago. Well, not decades, but it's been a while. And I just, it's, you get the story piece by piece, because it's like cringy. You're not cringy. You just remember how vulnerable you were at that time. You remember what your negative thoughts were going through your head, and how everything felt not right. And even to this day, I would say I would have to keep, it's ongoing. That's the one thing about mental health. It's ongoing. So like, even though I could say, Robert, you're doing well, and I am doing well, like, and they're like, but my mind won't feel it. So I've learned to trust the rational logic side sometimes, lean on sometimes, remember the emotional side, that they're all indicators. And there's one quote I want to say: these mountains are you that you are carrying, you are only supposed to climb. So sometimes we put too much on us, when it comes to all this stuff. But it's a process. So like, I've learned as I go through, I've learned to be, mindfulness, be kinder to the whole experience, looking at that event, whatever happened, whatever is happening, with no judgment at all. Like, and if you can,
so hard, but you have to practice it.
Yeah, and if you can, find a way to love it. And it sounds weird, but that's part of you. That part of you that was really low, the part of you that you don't like, if there's a way for you to find balance. The whole thing is like wholeness versus perfection. Finding a way to get yourself whole, because that little part of you was feeling this bad and you are here today, which is wonderful. I am here today. Now, the whole thing is, are we going to carry those mountains while we still try to climb? Or are we going to try to just climb and be kinder to ourselves? Understand that there's going to be good days and there's bad days. Lean on things that you remember that are good. Lean on, for me, what's helpful is also creativity. Creativity is, for me, very, very cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
Creativity is one of the best coping skills for me personally. So just being able to have that outlet, that kind of outlet, is very helpful.
Yeah. Brings you back to the present moment, and it also allows your brain to kind of like reconnect with true self, because I mean, you were saying as well, like if we're so distracted, our brain isn't working, it's just getting more lazier. So the more you can tap into your creative superpower, the more you can actually feel better again. I definitely believe that too.
Yeah, and if you're so distracted, everything has to be generalized, because you haven't really took the time to figure out what really is bothering you in that regard.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we wrap up, and it's been so wonderful to have you, Grace, any final thoughts of this month? Anything that, obviously, there's so much to talk about this, but I'd just like to get everyone that comes on their insight. What do you think is important that you would like to share with those listening as we wrap up?
Yeah, I would definitely like to share that I feel now the key to mental health issues, suicide prevention, to mindfulness, and to just feeling balance is connection and community. When I was depressed, I definitely craved people that understood me. And you mentioned this a few times too. I think when you have family and friends, it's amazing, but sometimes they just can't understand you as a whole because they've seen your past versions. So they can't really see you as your present version or as your future version like you want them to. And so I made a community called Healing Hearts Hub. And it's for like-minded people that are all on their healing journeys. So they've gone maybe through mental health issues, through trauma, whatever it may be, you're healing. And that means you're dedicating yourself to things like Rob was saying no, setting boundaries, which all comes with its own toll. Like it is hard work to keep up, especially when you're hyper aware of certain situations and people in your life, family triggering you, whatever it may be. And so this community is a safe space for you to be vulnerable, because vulnerability is the key to healing yourself and others around you. And it's a safe space for you to open up about whatever you're going through. We have daily check-ins so that you can be more intentional with daily life and not just run through and not have any time. And these check-ins only take you 2-3 minutes. We have each day different mottos. So a thankful Thursday, what you're grateful for, or today, Transformational Tuesday. How are you transforming right now? Like, what is your transformation that is currently going on for you? For me, for example, today, it was not allowing my stress to overcome me so that I get really away from the mindfulness, away from the present moment and into the stress. So it's like, as a kindergarten teacher, you hold so much responsibility for children and everything, right? But how can I come back to myself, to ground myself and be there? And so, yeah, we're intentionally living together because it's proven, research shows that we grow better together. And so when you have other people by your side that not necessarily family or friends, but they will become your friends, people that know you for who you want to be known as and who you want to grow into, allows you to grow into that person easier and better. We do journaling workshops once a month, meditations, and it's only the beginning. So I definitely feel that community is a big part of healing our loneliness epidemic worldwide, because more and more people are committing suicide because they feel alone. More and more people are eating more times alone a day. So yeah, feel welcome to join into Healing Hearts Hub. You get 14 days to find your feet with us and to see if we're, good for you or you're good for us, in the sense of like, you feeling at home. But we actually saved someone's life. Someone joined and was really feeling like they're not belonging here, and now he's really thriving, and that's just my mission, like to help people get the mojo back, and together is key. We can't do it alone.
I think it was the African proverb. If you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's just this idea of community. I remember that. I almost butchered it, but yeah, community community is such a huge part, of the overall holistic. If a person has a positive environment, they'll feel better. Like, it doesn't mean that everything's gone. It just means that part of them is less, and it can germinate good positive habits. It can actually help. So I do encourage in the notes, those who are listening, you'll find out more if you want to check it out, what Grace is doing. I want to say thank you. I want to say real quick, my final thoughts is, it sounds strange to say this, but in segue of being more insightful or just reflecting, the old saying, customer is always right. I think people take it on a surface level, but if I owned a business and someone came to the business and was upset because this, and maybe there's some misinformation, but if we're just looking at, we just want them to be away, we want to just get this over with, you're missing the point. The whole point is that you're building relationships. You're learning what may be something you're not looking at. Maybe there's some gap, or maybe some other employees promising something that you didn't say that they could promise. So there's every single, even things that seem at first negative, maybe something that you could actually learn more about. And I would say, if we're able to put that time and have that positive environment, we could do that to ourselves. We could be that, we could be critics to ourselves, but in a kind way. And in environment wise, I would say, the person who's exceptional with piano or anything like that, tell them. They don't know it. Like, literally, you would say, oh yeah, they're great. They should know that they're good at it or whatever. No, just tell them. A lot of people don't really get compliments.
I feel you. I said this on my Substack the other day. I was like, just tell people more. You like the hair, you like the t-shirt. Don't hold it back. Like, just share the love.
I think it goes a long way. A lot of people tell me I don't have enough time to do all these like kind of things. Well, I will say, just be nicer to your waiter. I will start there. Be nicer to your waiter when they get it wrong.
Yes, smile more and just say, yeah, it's so true. It's in those little kind gestures. You're right.
Just
to yourself and to others. Yeah, it's a ripple effect. I like that you said this.
And just to go back to quickly, is those who are struggling, who really feel there's no hope, I encourage you to find someone to talk to. If you don't have anyone, find out what, there's crisis lifelines on the website, or just find the first person that you feel you could trust. It's in all seriousness, it's hard, especially with everyone feeling so disconnected. Find a way to get connected to a positive community. And I would say one indicator of a positive community, if you do well, they'll be happy for you. Let's start there. If a good thing happens to you, you feel that they honestly are happy that you are succeeding. Find people that will be happy if you do well, and be around them.
Yes, it's all about having good people around you, for sure.
Well, thank you again, Grace, for coming on, sharing your insight. I just want to share those who are listening. ReviveMinistryFL.com is our website, and also we're on YouTube. You can listen to audio versions on our website, and then you can watch it online on YouTube. This is goodbye from Revive Ministry. And I just want to share with you, leaving with this quote. Hopefully it helps. It's an unknown one, but I think it's something that kind of goes with what we're saying. It says, when you don't have the strength to take another step. Ask those you love to pull you up.